Welcome to MinkLife Motivation Live. I am standing in for Monica Henderson today. I'm Peggy MacArthur. I am a headshot strategist, a headshot photographer, and we are going to talk about activating your wealth today. And I have tons of people here to help me with this conversation. First off, I have my co-host.
Hello.
Of course, I said your name wrong. I've only known you for like years now. I don't know. Anyway, and we're activating our wealth today. Here we go. I'm sure I'm doing this wrong because I'm not Monica, and she's like got her own little spice. So I'm trying to keep this going. Andrea is our wellness thrive strategist at Wellbeing and Worth. She is a MinkLife motivator, master trainer, and dean of MinkLife University. And I'm so glad you're here to help me today.
We're all good. Welcome, everybody. Hey.
Yay. And also we have Christopher Hampton. I had to look. I was like, crap, what is his last name? Doing good here. Chris is our champ. He is a CEO, founder of the Champ I Am organization. He's a leadership and entrepreneur coach. He's a best-selling author. There we go. International speaker and coach, an award-winning speaker, and a community leader. Chris, thank you so much for being here to talk about our wealth today.
I am excited to be a part of this wonderful panel of people.
Now, most importantly, our other co-host is you from the couch. So make sure that you continue to chime in and leave us your little comments and notes and ask a question. Feel free to put your personality into this because this show is all about you.
Looks like we have Irina.
Yay, thanks, Irina.
It's good to see familiar faces.
I know. Hello from the couch. Hey, Irina.
We haven't seen you for a while, Christopher. How's things been going with you?
Oh, life has been great. Just got finished with COVID, but I survived. I'm good.
I am.
But
really
beyond that, the new year.
I'm surrounded by survivors.
But the new year has started off great. Opportunities throughout the year starting. And, I love being a part of this great community, the MinkLife community. So this is already starting to be a great year.
Awesome. So normally when we have a guest on, we ask them to tell us a fact, maybe an interesting fact about you that none of us know. So there isn't anything written down. So I'm just going to ask you, what is a fun fact about Chris?
I lost my family during a whitewater rafting trip.
That's not a fun fact, Chris.
Yeah, it's a fun fact. It's a fun fact. Went down there, had my family, my kids were young, and my wife, we hit the rock, and we hit that rock in the rapids, and the boat went up, and the first one to fall out was my wife. So, I have stepchildren, so, they threw me overboard to try to get me to get their mom, and I'm trying to save their mom to get their mom back in the boat. They're trying to drown me, like it's my fault that they're there. But it was my first leadership lesson of learning to receive help because the guide was behind us and he was willing to give us instructions on how to get our boat straight. So that was my thing. I almost lost my wife and my kids and almost drowned. My kids almost killed me to save their mom.
Well, again, I'm glad I'm surrounded by survivors. Obviously,
that's
hilarious.
Where were these rapids? Where were you?
Oh, we were in the Poconos in Pennsylvania.
Oh.
So it was, it was our first of all, it was our first time doing it. So,
Right.
And, I didn't pick the hottest time of the year to go whitewater rafting. I went in October, so it was freezing. So on top of that, my son's having hypothermia, and my wife is looking at me like, you brought us out here. And my kids say, I knew you should have married that man. And but it was we're a better family for it now, whereas we can look back at it and laugh.
they've got a good origin story, right? Like they put there, he came along, he made it through. Oh my Lord, Chris, that's a story.
It's a fun fact. It's a fun fact. We survived.
Today's all about surviving, I think.
That's the word of the day. That's the word of the day. Survival.
Survival is going to be the word of. All right, so I need to keep this thing rolling. So we are going to get motivated. Not that the survival story wasn't motivating, because it was. But we are going to start off with a question to get us motivated. Why is it important to redefine wealth? And I'm going to start with Chris, since you are our guest for the week, because I already know what Andrea is going to say. So I want to start with you, Chris. Why is it important to redefine wealth?
Well, I think a lot of people look at wealth as money. And I think that money is the lowest form of wealth that you have. So when you think about what wealth is, it's having enough, or having the resources to be able to get the job done. So I need to have my emotional wellness. I need to have my relationship well filled. It's almost like banks. You need to have banks that you're constantly putting these deposits in. If you don't know the right definition or the right meaning of something, then you won't be able to apply the resources to the bank. So it's very important to be able to have a good working definition of it, because right now, I mean, we have a lot of people that are just trained to follow the money, and instead of following the heart and the passion and the health behind it. And then you find some very sick, rich people.
Exactly. There's a lot of people that have a lot of money and no wealth.
And no wealth. I mean, unfortunately, we're seeing people that are quote unquote got it all, and they're giving it all up, and they're giving their lives away, and some of them are even taking their life. So when you find you put the wrong definition behind something, and you follow it all the way to the end to find out that it was empty, it takes time off of who you are. So
I like that, because a lot of people chase money thinking they're chasing wealth, and they get the money and they're empty and depressed and frustrated and unhappy, and their relationships aren't straight, their health isn't straight, nothing else in their life is working. So that's really good. All right, Andrea.
So I love your answer, Chris. It so resonates with me, because why is it important? It's like, how are you defining it is key, just like you said. Because if your banks are low, or the reserves aren't there, you start to wonder and question everything, and that emotional, I'll say, poverty of a sense, really erodes the ability to create that material wealth. I love how you said it's the lowest form. I like to teach people too that we need this money, this currency. It's a currency, this thing to transact through life, so we can realize the things that we want. It's just that, but really, what is it that you want? And how your passion, like so many people are dispassionate now for a variety of reasons, not wholly because they're all just like throwing up their hands, but they're we're victims of circumstance right now, and it's very much, if you haven't built up those banks and defined them for yourself as to what really makes me whole, happy, and wealthy and fulfilled, then for sure this is a trying time, because the things you think that were there, right? And you realize, to your point, I'm glad you included health, because right now having your health is having your institutional, the one and only wealth, before you can do all the other banks of wealth. So I loved that answer, and hope I added something, because yours was really good.
I love how you said that the money is currency, and really pointing out that money is currency, and we do need currency to have wealth. We need currency for health. We need these transactions to accomplish the things, even in our relationships, in our health, in every area of our life. But wealth is not currency. And I think to define that and to really split the two apart to where currency is simply currency and wealth is something completely different. Wealth is the ability to live fulfilled in all of your areas of your life, your emotional, your relationships, your physical, and all the other things. So I think just literally saying, calling money currency versus calling money wealth is a big step in redefining that. And I really appreciated that. I really liked that. That was really good.
I also think that money is well, no, money is how the currency is how we spend our wealth. We accumulate. So when you look at money, that's one currency. So that currency is going to this bank. When we talk about our health and our diet, that's a currency, and we have to be able to recognize that currency and recognize what country that money is going to work for. So a lot of us are accumulating just in one area and find out we're broke in other areas. And it's like, if we don't know and we don't educate ourselves, we don't come to communities like this and really get, enlightened on, hey, there's more that I should be focusing on, So money's not bad. Money, you need money. So I'm not saying to give up on the money, but you need to focus on other currencies. Like I heard Dr. Fraser talk about that, you should have 7 ways of income or 7 resources of income. So that's 7 ways that wealth can come in, whether you're writing a book and you're getting royalties. That's a way. You got rental property. That's a way. You have all these other ways of getting money rather than just the job was the only one to do it. And when we realize that, it expands our way of looking at life and say, hey, there's more than just one way to get this done.
I've never heard the 7, but I have heard that you need more than one, funnel to bring income in. Because if you think about a stool can't be sustained on one leg. It has to have at least 3, and 4 or 5 makes it even more stable. Because if you have 4, 5, 6, 7, legs, then when one breaks or stops, you're still going to be steady. You're not going to fall over. If you just have 2 legs, you're always doing the balancing act. And if something happens to one of those legs, you're going to fall. So that's really important to open up doors for, other opportunities for money to come to you. Don't always think about your money's only from your job. I always say whenever like one of our lines of income, is slower than it should be, I always look at my husband and I go, well, I'm still doing what I'm supposed to do. So that's on the universe. It's going to have to figure out how to get this money to me, because I'm like doing all the things that I'm supposed to be doing. Like I got this going on, I got that going on. So, and I think as long as we leave those doors open, we give the currency, the money, the opportunity to get to us so that we can redistribute it to do the other things we need to do in life.
But are you actually even, and you have to start asking yourself, like, wow, like you said, I'm doing all the things that I should be doing. Are you? Because are we using our giftings, our talents, and our abilities to the max? So you may be thinking that I'm doing everything. And I knew a lady right now that was good at crocheting. And she was like, well, I don't have no money. But the money, the quality of the crocheting that she was doing ended up creating an avenue of unexpected resources that was able to increase her wealth. Why? Because she was using her gifting, her talents, and her abilities. You can actually become wealthy doing what you like. And I think that people think that you got to sacrifice your love, your passions, and go to work. No, your work is supposed to work for you. So you assign the time and the job, a task, and you make it happen. But don't put aside all the things just because your gift doesn't look like the next person's gift. You don't think you're wealthy. But because your unique gift is there to serve you, it's not meant to serve everybody else. It's meant to serve you. So are you really using all the resources at your part to accumulate, or are you even aware that you have currency that's valuable, that's sitting at your feet, and you don't even realize you have it?
Okay, so I just literally said this to someone this morning and you just slapped it right back in my face. I love that because we don't often really take value ourselves. All right, so we are going to stay inspired, and Chris, you're going to tell us your story of your entrepreneurial journey. So we want to hear, we want to be inspired by your story. So I'm going to give you this time to talk to us about your journey, and
I
not
was
the journey on the whitewater rafting.
all right, we're done that, but that got me to my story. Well, listen, I'm 46 years old now, and just to let you know that you're never too old or never too young to make the change. 6 years ago, actually, no, 7 years ago, I was working tree jobs. I was working a night job. I was working a day job. I was trying to be a caretaker to my mom. So that was three jobs. And then on my way home from my night job, when I was coming back early in the morning, I felt a heart palpitation in my chest. And I said, that don't feel right. So I went to the hospital. Now, what freaked me out was the cardiologist looking at my EKG, and he said, Mr. Hampton, you look like you had a heart attack. And what was hit me was this. Not that I had a heart attack. What screamed on the inside of me was a no. You haven't did what you were supposed to do. And I had this conversation with my higher power, God, and I was like, well, I know I'm called to speak. Then he was like, speak. But I was like, nobody knows who I am. Who's going to hire me? Who am I? Speak. That was the inner voice, my inner voice speaking back to me saying, speak. And that was the journey that started Champ I Am, was me beginning to step out on my gift and pursue that gift. So I went where speakers spoke. I joined my local Toastmasters. And every Monday I would speak and I would introduce myself as, hi, my name is Chris Hampton and I'm a motivational speaker. I didn't say I want to be one. I didn't say I'm thinking about being one. I said, my name is Christopher Hampton and I am a motivational speaker. And eventually my identity hit me and said Champ I Am, because I am a champ, C. Hampton. And so I abbreviate my name, and my name was calling me and said Champ. And then I Am meant that everything that was on the inside of me was already on the inside of me. So I was already defined with my brand, and Champ I Am came into existence. Within my 6 months of being a Toastmaster, I ended up doing by accident a competition speaking environment, and I won for the state the humor speaking contest, and they call it the extemporaneous, I can't even pronounce the word, the one, we call it table topics, and the 1 minute speech. I ended up being the winner in those two speaking, and I went to compete in New Pennsylvania and came in third place. So now I can say my name is Chris Hampton and I'm an award-winning motivational speaker. And then that was the journey of me developing the brand, was really being able to identify what I was called and meant to do. And I just started pursuing it. And I would just show up in places. And I would say, when they ask me, what you do? My name is Chris Hampton. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm Champ I Am. My very first motivational speaker, I was an actor in an independent movie that a friend of mine was producing. And how it came about was, as we were at the viewing, I was sharing with somebody what my goal was, but I just didn't have the confidence to really start it yet. But I encouraged the people around me so much that they were like, you need to get a card out. You need to be a speaker. I got my card out the next day, and I ended up my first client was in the fashion industry. So I ended up sharing in the fashion industry so much that then they started to call on me as the go-to coach. 7 years later, we're here on the MinkLife, and I'm now a nationwide, an international global speaker, an award-winning author. And it all stepped out from me doing what? Pursuing the gift that I had on the inside of me and just taking that one step each day, committing to be able to say, I am who I am, and then just manifesting that gift. And you're seeing the results today of just taking that one step 6 years ago, 7 years ago. So you too can be living your dream, and it doesn't take that long because we know 6 years can go by just like that.
That is incredible. Thank you for sharing that. Andrew, do you want to add or give some thoughts
And
about how that impacted you? What your thoughts are?
I well, I'm so happy you're healthy. I'm so happy you made it to the hospital to get the wake up, right? Like, however, like you said, the divine universe, you're like, this isn't right, let me go. So that's the first thing. So praise be, that's awesome. The second thing that really sticks out for me is in that moment of that divination, like I'm really thinking about this for a talk and a book too, about those times when you have these pivots and like these decisions that really make you choose a path. And like when we fail to listen to that call, what happens? And what happens when we choose to accept the call? So you, you just were part of the chapter of my book. I might be quoting you, Chris, in my book. I might have
Well,
to be
I love to say this scripture because this scripture means important to me. It says, "Hope deferred makes the heart sick."
like, amen.
And when you look at that and you look at that, how many of you out there today have been wishing and talking and wanting it so bad, but you never you turn it into a hope. And we're not meant to live off of hope, because what happens is if we live off of hope too long, we be eating nothing. See, we have to be able to turn that hope into actionable steps.
Yep.
We got to turn the dream, the wish into a dream, and the dream into a vision, and the vision into manifestation. And I knew I was supposed to be speaking since high school, but it took to me to be 39 and a half to be able to be willing to actually embrace what was on me. Why? Because I was scared. Or why? I didn't see myself as greatness that I am. And it doesn't have to take you that long for you to get the understanding or for that light bulb to come on. Because once you get it, I believe your gift will make room for you. Your gift opens up doors from you. And because you're looking at your gift as a gift that doesn't look like everybody else, it's not packaged the same way as other people are packaged. It's there for a reason.
Yep.
So it's scientifically proven that stress causes health issues and all other issues. And when you are not living in your gift and you are not doing what you're happy with, then you have stress in your life. It causes stress, and that can cause heart problems. That can cause anxiety. It can cause all sorts of other health issues and emotional issues. So we shouldn't have to get to our have that loud of a wake up call. Thank God you were able to wake up and change your life at that moment. An acting coach that I work with a lot, his name is Billy Cowart. He does this exercise. He says, imagine that you're on your deathbed and people are sad. Everybody's around you is sad. And you look at them with a smile and you say, don't worry about it. It's okay because I've done fill in the blank. In other words, how would you comfort people if you were at the end of your journey? Like, what have you accomplished with your life? And think of that now, and then go do that so that you can feel fulfilled and complete at the end of your journey instead of walking in stress. All right, let's keep this rolling. Let's talk about networking now. Everyone knows that here at Mink Life Motivation, we do not believe that networking is what can you do for me? Hey, buy my stuff. Look at me. Look at me. It is how can I help you? How can we get involved helping each other? So there we go. Who should we surround ourselves with to activate our wealth? Who should we surround ourselves with? Andrea, I'm going to start with you on this.
Oh, did you mute yourself? Oh, she did. I
I
guess she
did because I have a little helper here that's whining at the door. So I was telling him to lay down.
I was like, click. So who should you surround yourself with activating your wealth? Well, as we said in the beginning of this program, we are filling up these resources in our life basket, so to say, or our life chest, right? And the first things first is if there is a repository that looks low, that's where you go. Like Chris said, I'm a motivational speaker. So he put himself into a land of speaking, and he spoke and he spoke and he spoke, and he filled that repository till it was overflowing. And he is then now lavishing his actual wealth of expertise for all of us. Like, just loved hearing your story. I'm going to be talking about it for days. So sorry, I keep talking about you, Chris, because I haven't heard the whole thing. So that was awesome. But that is an example, a prime example. So your story just fits with this so well today. This week is go. You know, people so often don't go where they have the need to fill up, and it really strikes me because I'm like, that's the place where you should be going to being a sponge, because in that activity, like you said, the like, I don't have that, so how do I get it moment is like, there's so much growth in just saying, I don't have this yet, I'm going to go get it, I want it, and going to get it. So that is who you should surround yourself with, is being in a room with people who have what you don't have, in a way, really will fill up your tank, so that if that's speaking on your heart that you need this, then you will actually acquire it through the osmosis of learning through those people. So that is my tip. Thank you for letting me go first. Not after Chris.
Oh, I'm still muted. I'm sorry. Chris.
I like to go first. Now,
It's like, phew.
well, good. I think we're going to say things different. And I think one of the things that I would say is surround yourself with people that are of like vision. They don't have to look like you. They just have to see the next level like you. And a lot of times what frustrates the living life, it's just like it irks me. It's like is where I look at people and the amount of people, even in the motivational part, that give attention to haters. If your haters are around you so much that you have to acknowledge and light up your platform to let people know that you got haters, you're being surrounded by the wrong people. Which means to tell me that you didn't have the wisdom to remove yourself from a circle. You've been staying in a circle for too long. So, and that's my pet peeve with especially, you'll be surprised how many motivational speakers have given their platform to haters and acknowledging the haters. No, you need to find out that if you're saying you have a vision and you want to go somewhere and the people around you don't see it, it's not meant for them. You need to get around people that can see. Because the blind lead the blind, you're all just going to end up in a ditch somewhere. So I need to get people that can see bigger, see wider, see further, and I put myself in the room with them.
Absolutely. I love that. And it's so true. People want to feed the negativity. And there's sometimes, especially in the last 5-6 years, where I've literally screamed at the TV, just shut up, just ignore these things and they'll go away. Quit feeding the negativity. Because that's wherever you put your energy, that's what's going to multiply. And we see that positive or negative. And I know there's a saying, I think we've all heard it before, show me your closest 5 friends and I'll show you who you are. And that's exactly who you need to surround yourself, is who you want to be, where you want to go, people with like vision, people that are above, the level that you're at. That's where you should be. I was raised since I was small, never be the smartest one in the crowd, never be the richest one in the room, never be the best at anything in the room. Always go to the next room. As soon as you get to you're the best in the room, go to the next room, because you can always get better. So I think that's everything you guys said was just right on point. That was very, very good.
I'm laughing at Monica. These are my friends.
Yes, dear, you're our friend too.
And Monica's the room we hang out in, that's for sure.
That chat room gets my ADD going. I'm just
No, it gets ours too. And it doesn't come. And so we start laughing sometimes, and then people it's like later, so it's funny. Oh.
All right, let's gain some knowledge, guys. All right, so who should I start with? I'm going to start with Chris. Give us one tip. I know the question is going to pop up. Monica's going to give me the question. There we go. Share one tip to boost your business by, that's not the question she wanted me to ask, but I'm going to ask it anyway. By, by connecting your business to a cause.
You'll be surprised that there are certain doors that you cannot open. Okay. And by connecting to a cause, you're actually connecting to their resources and their knowledge base. So one of the benefits, and I'm a living example of this because I'm now the commissioner for the arts for the city of Camden, New Jersey. That came about not because I wanted the position. It came about because we started an open mic night for young people in the city of Camden to display their gifts and to be able to share their art in a safe space. And we ended up building community leaders, community activists. We were showing young people how to be discontent in the right way and be able to use that as their art form and be able to give a voice to them. And then as a result of that, the door opened up that the committee, the city council opened up to me to come on there to give young people the opportunity to have a voice on that committee. Now, that had nothing to do with Champ I Am, but it had all to do with the vision of me empowering people. And that's still tied with my gift of Champ I Am, is empowering people to see their purpose and their passion and to pursue it, right? So because I had a like vision, I tied a like vision to a community cause that had a like vision. So don't just connect yourself to any cause. Connect yourself to a cause that has a vision that matches your vision, and you empower each other. Just because you're in the room, like is feeding like.
All right, Andrea, share one tip how to boost your business by connecting to a cause.
I mean, really, Chris nailed it. By aligning your passion to, I think all of us need things bigger than ourselves. So aligning to a cause or something that you are interested in or have a great need to help. Like, I love that you're the Commissioner of the Arts for Camden, New Jersey. That is such an awesome step because, like, you're the kind of community leader communities need, right? And you're not just, oh, I'm an academic and I'm going to be the Commissioner of the Arts. You're there working. And so it's when these real people come into these positions like this that change really does happen. And so never underestimate, to your point, that when you go volunteer and you participate in something, you being that beacon because it speaks to you and you want to give back, you're often tapped to be that person because people know that people who volunteer to do stuff get things done because they didn't have to be there in the first place. So, so you're automatically person of interest, and you never know how that's going to morph and sort of shape you into speaking to the next thing. A similar thing happened to me with me once because I had a business once where I worked in women's closets and I do my little thing, and it was more. I was always vexed that in this business that women would buy the same pair of black pants. And I was like, could you buy something else? Like, you need some color, have a scarf or whatever. And one of my clients was like, I would love for you to come do a workshop for my business. And I was like, okay. And there were 150 women in this workshop. And I remember being like, oh my lands, little me wasn't expecting it, but she had been so moved by the way I had conducted my business, and she opened up, like you said, opened up me to a world of women I would never have known, and that really burgeoned. And I got to speak for several years in a row doing these like makeover workshops for this business. So it's so true that you having your passion, and especially if you're working in your passion, you don't even think it's work. You're like, you're gonna pay me to come do what? Okay, whatever. And that just really, really taught me a lot in that one instance because I hadn't really started to work out my whole entity as a business person. So it showed me the way before I knew that that was a thing. So for sure, when you align yourself especially because it's something you already do and you're just doing it because it's something you love, it all works out in the end in a bigger way.
I love that. I think I'm going to say something from a little bit of a different point of view. I am, anybody that knows me that I'm very much an activist. I'm very much out there and really pushing for things I believe in, very openly and outwardly. But I think what it does when we tie our business to a cause, something that we're passionate about, it adds a certain passion to our business. It adds a different dimension to our business. It gives our business a reason to exist outside of, I'm going to help you, you're going to give me your money. It gives, like, it empowers on a different level. In other words, if I do your headshots, a certain percentage of the money you paid me is going to go to the causes that I believe in. You paying me is going to allow me the freedom to take a Saturday to go help out at the homeless shelter, do whatever it is that we're doing that particular week. And it makes the business a whole different dimension other than I do headshots. I talk to you about why your headshots make an impact for your business. Instead, it's like, this business makes an impact in our community and hopefully in our nation and hopefully in our world. And so it keeps the passion alive. It makes me excited to work because I know that when I work, I get to do this other thing that I'm passionate about. So it just all feeds off of each other. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't think about, is when we're doing something we're passionate about and we allow that to be part of our business, it just makes our business even more passionate than it was before. So I think that's a really good thing to always keep in front of our minds. All right. Announcements. No, that's not how Monica does it. Dang it.
She does good though.
She does a really good
Announcements.
announcements.
She's probably over there crying.
All right, guys, it's time for announcements. So, Chris, tell us how people can get involved with you, how they can buy your books, how they can hear you speak. What is going on with you right now?
Oh, I just finished with my first book. That's mine. I was always in contributors to books, but my first book that came out is the Everyday Leadership for Everyday People. So I really want to encourage you to be a part of this symposium that we're doing, because I'll be talking about how to be that everyday leader and embracing the everyday leader. And it just talks about how leadership is about not about position, but all about the influence. And we all have influence, so we need to learn how to develop that skill. And the first part of that book is just really talking about embracing the unique you, that unique leader. That you can go, it's on Amazon, it's on Barnes and Noble books. You can connect with me on Champ I Am. So that's CHAMPIAM .org. And again, I just want to connect with the world. And if you need me as a speaker, keynotes, I do keynotes as well as workshops. So, and I also MC this wonderful faith. So I MC and do a lot of things. So connect with me and see how we can build each other and grow each other's platforms. I'm all about connecting.
Absolutely. Andrea, what is new with you in 2022?
In 2022, we are just chugging along like Champ said earlier, Chris said earlier, was got over COVID. So I'm so happy to be back at work that it's not even funny. So you can find me a couple ways. First, of course, please go like Andrew Gwirtz over on YouTube. Great. The next thing is you're always welcome to look me up in my Facebook group, or go to my profile and it links to my Facebook group, where I have a group called Weight Loss and Wellness, a 360-degree approach to thrive. I'm all about helping people thrive. And my next big workshop is starting in March. So come on in, join the fun, get to know me, see if somebody you want to work with. And let's do a deep dive into teaching you how to thrive mind, body, and spirit. And that's going to be happening first week of March. So that's what I got going on. So look me up.
Yay. And subscribe to her YouTube channel because we're still trying to get her subscriptions up so that she can change her name and do all that cool stuff. So
Cool stuff.
subscribe to her YouTube channel.
Yeah.
All right. And you can find me at headshotsbypeggy.com everywhere, social media, all over the place. You can also look up my Link app, linkapp.com/Peggy, and you will find out everything you ever wanted to know about me and so much more. Everything's in that Link app. So make sure you go there. Now let's talk about what's going on at MinkLife Motivation. We have our community. We have our courses. We have our conferences. But what's next? Yay. Okay, so I want to talk to you about the incubator. You can read the cards as I'm talking because I was just talking to a friend in the Minkubator earlier today, and I said, what the Minkubator does for me is I've been self-employed my entire adult life. I have always, owned my own business, done my own time. But going to the incubator not only allows me to have other people to bounce things off of, but it's a psychological thing. Like the people in my house don't say, honey, can you do this? Mom, can you do this? Because I'm at work. It's amazing. So get involved. Check out the incubator. Get involved. It is a really, really good community. All right. Click that button for me, Monica. Now the symposium is getting ready to start. We have a new date of December 7th, which is one day before my birthday. Go ahead and mark that down. I take cash.
February 7th.
Whatever. Anyway, February 7th through March 17th. It's 24 days, 24 roundtables, 24 courses, and 72 amazing lectures. You do not want to miss out on this. This is going to be mind-blowing because we are going to find your zone of genius. If you are a speaker and you have not signed up for this yet, get a hold of us because we still have some slots left and we want to know what is your zone of genius. And that concludes our amazing, earth-shaking, rock, mind-blowing show that we had today. Thank you to our producer, Monica Henderson. Thank you to Andrea, and of course to Chris, whose name didn't get on the last slide, and that was my bad. I was in charge of the slides today. Sorry, Chris. But we know you're here, and we are grateful for you being a part of this amazing conversation. Make sure that you share this all over the place. Leave comments as you're watching it, even if you're watching it restreaming. And we will see you next week, same time, same place. We love you guys.
Thank you, Chris. Bye, everyone.